Okay, today we're going to talk trash picking. In particular, we're going to talk about trash picking computers. This is something I've been doing for a while now, as you can no doubt clearly see there in the background. I have no shortage of all things computerized. Anyway, what we have here is an E-machines that was picked up, it was an E-machine computer that was picked up from the curb. And it's been a little bit cannibalized for parts. I did go ahead and put a fan on the processor here. Now this isn't by any definition a high-end system, and it certainly does need some parts. But if you want to get started in trash picking and picking up computers and salvaging them from the trash, parts won't be a problem, because over time you're going to get some machines that you simply can't fix, and you should keep as much as possible out of them. I usually hang on to at least cases and power supplies, memory, hard drives, optical drives, anything that tests good in another machine you ought to hang on to, because you never know when you're going to need it for sure. So what have we got here? Well, we've got a little Intel motherboard, kind of inexpensive, no AGP slot, got a modem down there in the bottom PCI slot. I put a new fan on the heatsink. I don't know where it went. I'll have to get some memory. No floppy drive. Got the does have the CD-ROM drive in it. I have a hard drive carrier out of a machine that went under in a flood, so I can put that right back in. Or if we didn't have it, we could probably mount the hard drive here. Anyway, basically, what we're going to do is we're going to see whether or not this machine works. So I've got a power supply that I pulled out of another scrapped system that happens to work. And although this motherboard needs the plus 12 volt processor core voltage connector, I don't really have one of those, a power supply with one of those, but I have one that I salvaged off of a junk power supply, and I figure that we'll probably do just fine to hook it up to the 12 volt power connectors, which are these. The 12 volt positive is the yellow one there, and the black one immediately next to it is a ground connection. So let's hook that up and see if it works. Okay, now I've gone ahead and I've actually kind of dovetailed in these new power connections, and I've gone ahead and plugged it into the motherboard down here. Again, you want to, if you had to add a fan or anything, you really ought to check and make sure that it's hooked up to the proper place on the board, or you may have a very short-lived experiment. I've gone ahead and fitted the power supply into the case. It's not an exact fit, but the screw holes do line up, and it can probably be made to work. And then I've gone ahead and also connected the primary ATX power connector to the system. I haven't installed any memory yet, because if the board is bad, I don't want to trash good parts. Okay, well, as you can see, it ended up that this system had some pretty serious issues that we're not going to be able to fix, at least not in an economically feasible manner. So basically what I've done, and what you can see over there, is a stack of the hardware I've saved from the machine for use with a future project. Now what can you do with the case? Well, you could just throw it away, or you could tune in next time and see what we do with it.